TPE Network. Fun yet informative podcasts.
Hello and welcome to the Mandalorian Fan Podcast. I'm Hank.
And I'm Alex.
And together we combine to become your hosts. Look at us on TV. We are covering The Bad Batch. This is season 1, episode 4, Cornered. And we feel kind of cornered in our little screens here. Let's see if I can push on it.
Yeah. Oh, other way.
A little bit of miming going on.
I thought you were going to say cornholio there for a moment, but 90s flashback.
Teepee for my
Need some teepee for my bungle. Are you threatening me?
So we are gonna jump right into our recap. Our crew is on their way to Idaflor to hide. They're saying this isn't a populated area, so they're like, well, that's perfect because then we can hide out. But they are low on supplies, and now they're wanted by the Empire. So they've got problems, bigger problems than they can handle in this episode, it would appear.
So they don't have the resources of the Republic at their beck and call.
Nope.
And so they have to try to scavenge and sell things that might be valuable that they have to get credit.
And I can't wait to get to that part. They're able to intimidate / bribe the guy when they land. But he says he's not going to scan the ship, but he knows what the ship is because somebody infamous has put out a wanted, bounty on them, so to speak. And so he goes and basically turns them in anyway. But we don't know who this ominous character is until they switch and show us Ming-Na Wen's character, Fennec Shan, who is from the Mandalorian series. I was pretty stoked as soon as I heard her voice come on. What about you?
I thought it was Mulan at first. I was really confused.
I thought it was Agent May. Agent Melinda May.
Yeah, well, her fighting skills, but okay. At first, I didn't realize it was Ming-Na Wen until she actually spoke. As soon as she spoke, yep, that's Ming-Na Wen. Because at first, I thought it was. You remember that bounty hunter from Attack of the Clones?
Yeah,
that was partners with Jango Fett. I thought it was something from that species at first, and then Ming-Na Wen spoke, and I'm like, oh yes.
Remember on the Mandalorian,
total geek out.
I said the same thing because remember the helmet shape is so similar to that character.
Yeah. And there's really with this episode, there was like other aspects that reminded me of Attack of the Clones too, but we'll get to that in just a little bit.
And Alex has ruined my experience because forever when I see Hunter forevermore, I'm like, okay, John Rambo, Omega, and Echo are heading into town. And I was like, no, that's not right.
It's never over.
He does look exactly, and I can't get it out of my head now, like John Rambo.
We'll just call him Sly.
Outstanding. And then we see stormtroopers there, and the citizens are celebrating. They're like, yes, we love being enslaved. And so
they weren't really stormtroopers, they were clone troopers.
Clone troopers. Okay. Clone troopers still.
So we're still clone troopers, but remember, we're in that time period where we're transitioning from clones to stormtroopers. But yeah, they were celebrating and kind of like what we would do on Memorial Day when we show respect to our fallen dead, and then on Veterans Day when we have Veterans Day parades and we show our respect to our veterans as well. However, there's kind of a Sith type reason for it, and it's because they're celebrating the downfall of the Jedi after their so-called insurrection.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
What? Hunter tries to deal with the shisty barterer, and they pull a fast one on him because Echo has so much metal and so much android type parts that when they puts the helmet on, he looks like an android. And I called him Echo Droid for this episode, and he is sold for 3,000 credits. I thought that was a pretty funny ordeal. But Omega running off, and she's chasing like this little dog type animal that took her little toy, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be every episode is gonna be centered around Omega.
Well, that particular spot, now if people are paying attention, it's almost kind of like an homage to Jyn Erso from Rogue One, where at the very beginning of Rogue One, we see that Jyn Erso has these little tiny stormtrooper dolls and whatever other characters she had. That's what that kind of reminded me of. And so, the clone trooper doll kind of gets her in trouble.
Yes.
I'm not so sure she even paid for that.
No, that's a great point, because it was like she was doing something and he said something like, hey, if you break it, you buy it. It was whatever she knocked over, but I don't think she even paid for that either. But anyway,
Nope.
Fennec Shan finds her and offers to help, and her Ming-Na Wen's silky smooth voice just lets you know, like, yeah, she can manipulate people at the drop of a hat. Droid Echo is to supervise the not C-3PO, Clink, and not R2-D2. And they start standing up to him at first, and then he brandishes that blaster. I laughed so hard because I was like, whoa, wait a minute, they're droids. Why are they terrified of blasters?
I gotta say,
And
this can harken back to, I remember C-3PO freaking out when a blaster was pointing at him. So
okay, yeah,
something in their programming.
And he sounded like that robot from Power Rangers. Ay, ay, ay.
Oh no. Thanks. Now I'm not going to get that out of my head.
Yes, a revenge. Fennec gets Omega some food by stealing it. Poor Omega's learning all sorts of bad habits out of these people. And then Omega has a keen enough vision to say, oh, wait a minute, why do you have a blaster on you? And just then Hunter tracks him down, and he's like, all right, try to, step away from her. But the battle is on. That was a good fight that they had there, I felt like.
And so this was the part that I was going to say, that this is almost reminiscent of the chase between Anakin and what was it, Zeb Wessel from it was just like that, and it was it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I bet you this is the type of fight that Ming-Na Wen absolutely loves, because she has to do absolutely nothing. She just the animators do all the work for her. And so yeah, no one was hurt in any way other than maybe a slight strain of vocal cords.
Yes, great point. I think they will be able to retain Disney will be able to retain a lot of actors in these animated type shows because of that. They don't have to work out and get in some specific type of shape and all that stuff. So that's not a bad gig from what I hear.
Yeah, I'd like to get a gig like that.
Yeah, Wayne Henderson could tell us.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now she has chased away. She was chased away by those. I guess were they kind of like law enforcement of some sort? Where they
they're kind of like local. I guess we'd call them local law enforcement. Where I think probably about a year or two down the line, it'll probably be Imperial stormtroopers that'll be the ones enforcing Where
Yep.
right now, they're like I said, we're in that transition between the Republic and the Empire, and we're kind of steering everything towards the Empire right now.
And for never being out of that lab area and stuff, Omega is really resourceful, in my opinion.
You kind of think that it might be a clone thing, because some of the clones, you kind of think, how much of their abilities are they already kind of programmed with?
Smart.
So, but as we know, Omega, she's kind of she's special in and of herself. So, just possibly we could she she has I know we talked about this before. She probably has skills we don't even know she has yet, and possibly even force like
Ability.
powers as well. Yeah.
I like that. Love that. Hope they go down that path. Droid Echo and crew are gonna go fix the ship while everybody else is gonna go locate Omega. Record finds her, but Finnick is there, and it was so embarrassing and anticlimactic how quick he got whooped. Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's I want to let's see what's the term we used to use back in the day, jobber.
Yep. In wrestling,
So that's
wrestling
yeah,
terms. Yep.
that's exactly
Yep.
what it was.
He was like, I'm gonna
Yep.
take care of you. And then she just destroyed him in seconds. She
Yep.
put him over, so to speak.
Yeah.
We're going full wrestling on this edition.
Or a total squash, we call that.
Yep, squash match. So they were like, make Finnick look strong, which was easily done in this case.
Yeah.
Tech spots Omega dangling from a tower. That part, I was like, this kid, man, don't let this kid off the ship again. But Finnick saves her as John Rambo, aka Hunter, is in hot pursuit, and then Omega pulls a fast one and dumps Finnick out of there. And now the Popo are also in hot pursuit. Did she kill those cops?
I would like to think she didn't.
Yeah, because I saw an explosion and I didn't see them jump away and stuff. I thought that was not good. I was like, this is Disney? No.
Yeah.
But
You remember the old episodes of the A-Team where A-Team's firing at a bunch of hired soldiers and vice versa, and nobody's hit? I think there was like one episode in which Murdoch was hit, and the whole episode was devoted. But other than that, it's like, nope, they got invisible bullets. So
and G.I. Joe, when they used to dump like 20,000 rounds in 5 minutes and nobody got hit.
yeah, and they were all laser gun too.
So let's hope that those guys are fine, because I was not expecting that. I was like looking for them to see if them fall somewhere or something. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Next up, Hunter. He blows up her ship, which was really cool how they pulled that off. And then they rendezvous at their own ship, and it's a hot takeoff. They realize that Finnick is a bounty hunter. No duh. And she ends up paying the one guy that tipped her off. He thought she was probably going to kill him or something, I think. Mm-hmm. But she didn't. She was like, hey, if you hear anything, see anything, you know how to call me. And so she is going to continue to pursue Omega and the crew. Alex, what did you feel like for this episode?
Oh, it was a toss-up between an 8 and a 9, simply because the coolest part of it, we had Fennec with us, and so they're tying in Mandalorian to kind of, I don't know if we can call it the Clone Wars universe, but that's what I'm calling it. And so the Star Wars animated universe. So that's really cool, because we kind of had the opposite go on during Mandalorian, when we had a couple of the Clone Wars animated characters come and join us in live action from season 2 of Mandalorian. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'll give it a 9, simply because of that cool factor. And it sounds like, we're going to see some more appearances. So I'm really looking forward to Ming-Na Wen. And of course, Ming-Na Wen is kind of our favorite since our days of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan podcast.
You said it.
Yeah.
I am with you. I was him and Han on this all morning because I was like, action-wise and stuff is a 9. 8 if I try to think about, well, why were they there? Why did this all transpire? And you know what I mean? If I try to think too deeply into it, but I have to agree. I think it's a 9 because it was just a lot of fun, tons of action, and we got Fennec Shan in the episode. So I was super stoked. As soon as I heard that voice, I was like, yes, this is where I wanted to see this series go, because I want them to kind of play off of that, possibly her maybe kind of changing course over this, whatever episodes she's in and this runs, maybe she'll have a heart at some point or something. I don't know. I'm just curious to explore this.
And it's kind of interesting too, because if any of you read the Star Wars Marvel comics, they're in the middle of a huge crossover called Bounty Hunters, or the Hunt for the Bounty Hunters, or whatever. It's a big bounty hunter crossover between the Darth Vader book, the Star Wars book, and some of the other books. So that would be cool if they had like Fennec Shan in one of those books as well, just kind of as a tie-in. Nice. And another thing too, the planet that we're at, was it Pantera or Pantera, or I'm thinking the metal band.
You're thinking of the rock band, man.
Yeah. But anyway, this is a world that we've been to before in Clone Wars. So I know, my wife and I were talking this morning about Bad Batch, and she says, I really can't get into it because it seems like there's a lot of background information on the episodes. I told her, I said, well, really, you only need to watch the 3 or 4 Bad Batch episodes from the last season of Clone Wars. But for us fans that, we've been watching it for quite some time, there's a lot of Easter eggs here and there with past seasons of Clone Wars. So. And even Rebels too.
I was just gonna say that. And then, even though I watched all the stuff, like, it's been a while, so I'm kind of dull on what kind of animal is that, and what kind of, just a little nuanced stuff like that. So I can understand why she would say that, but it's a fun series. I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I would. Anything else before we wrap her on up?
Nope. We got next week's episode, so we'll see what happens. And we didn't. I think this was the first episode that we didn't have Bullseye in it. Bullseye clone.
Crosshair. Maybe they're ramping him up for something. Else.
So and again, I don't think we need to have him in every episode.
No.
And so again, most likely we'll probably see him in the next episode, or if we don't, that's fine too.
Right. And I'm curious how they're going to space out these next episodes, because if we're getting 16, they're going to have to do a little shuffling here soon.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it's a fun ride. I really appreciate you carving out the time, Alex.
Oh, it's my honor and pleasure.
Awesome. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Mandalorian Fan Podcast. Until the next time, I'm Hank. We're signing off.
See ya.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing else like it.